If you want to be rich, you want to be successful, you want to awe everybody around you and yourself, these are the 7 habits that I embodied in my 20s that allowed me to go from literally broke, making like $500 a month, living at my dad's house, heartbroken, to building a multi-6-figure business, being engaged to my fiance, moving to Florida, living in a luxury apartment, and basically doing a complete 360 in my life. Now, a lot of people think when you're in your 20s, it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy to get to like the top 1% in either like your category, in your industry, in your career, in your relationships, in your health, in your wellness, whatever that looks like for you. But to be honest, well, let me just preface and say it does take time, effort, and energy. But when you set yourself up correctly to be successful in your 20s, so in your 30, 40, 50, 60s, and so on, you just thrive. These are the things that you want to adopt and you want to start to do ASAP. And as always, I have my video chapters here, so if you want to go through, skip through the video, you can. But the first thing I really want to talk about is knowledge and information. I spent and am still spending so much time reading books over watching TV and Netflix. Now, one of the biggest reasons why people are not successful at like a young age or in their 20s is because they don't know enough knowledge and information for them to actually get and be successful. So for me, when I was like 20, 21 years old, I started to flood my mind and my brain with personal development books, books about business, books about money, about investing, about how to reprogram my mindset so I can really change who I was being and excel to be in that top 1%. Now, average people, quote unquote, people that honestly just kind of like flow through life, living in their 9 to 5, just doing what everybody else is doing, they are spending their time watching TV and Netflix. Now, that does not mean you can't watch TV. I mean, I love a good show, I love a good movie, but at the same time, if you're spending literally hours and hours every single day doing that, imagine if you spent 1 hour additional every single day to read a book that gave you the knowledge and the information to start your own business, or gave you the knowledge and information to have a much more loving relationship, or gave you the knowledge and information to actually love your body and get in like the best shape ever. And I have talked to so many successful people, and I have studied this through books, and every single person that I have met, they have learned some part of their, success, their rituals, their strategies, their business, whatever they were successful in, some part of that they learned through reading a book. So these are some of my favorite books. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. I mean, I have a whole bookshelf of books over here, but these are some of my favorite books that I have read when it comes to personal development and really basically just expanding my mindset to just know what I want is actually capable for me. And it does not have to take me like literally decades in order for me to get it, because logically, when you look at it, me making multi-6 figures in my 20s, you can't logically figure out how that happens. Traditionally, it might take you 5 to 10 years to work up the corporate ladder and make that type of money, especially if you're just like baseline starting right after you graduate college. But reading these books, once again, they allowed me to expand my mindset, but they also allowed me to gain a lot of knowledge to get ahead of other people. Because when you're valuable and you see the value in yourself, others people see it as well. And that is how you are going to get the bonuses, the raises, the clients, the money, the relationship, the free stuff when you just go out is when you see yourself of value. But once again, if you don't recognize and you don't understand how that's possible for you, it's really hard to actually do that. So read books, flood your mind with books. I also have my Amazon storefront in the description that has a whole bunch of list of books that I absolutely love. So if you need to get started, just pick something from one of those. Now, the second habit that made me highly successful in my 20s is being emotionally intelligent. There is nothing pretty, there is nothing cute, there is nothing amazing when it comes to reacting to certain situations that you either can or can't control. And this is a really important step, and basically important, not even just habit, but characteristic you want to have if you want to be successful, especially if we're talking about in a business sense. You're going to be dealing with a lot of clients, a lot of people, a lot of opportunities, a lot of like events, networking. And if you don't know how to emotionally regulate yourself and not basically just react to what's happening, it's going to be really hard for you to thrive in a high level. Because let's say, for an example, you have a client, they don't have the best experience, even though you gave them the best experience, and they just start talking about you to their friends, to their circle. It's very easy for you to react and get mad and yell and scream, and then also show up as somebody that's not necessarily you. But when you can emotionally regulate and know that everything that's happening outside of you, you can't necessarily control, but the only thing that you can control is how you're showing up for yourself, for your brand, for basically your well-being, that's the best thing that you can do. Because I will also tell you, being successful in your 20s, it also requires you to set boundaries. So if you are in a bad relationship, or if you are in some sort of situationship where you're not really in a relationship, you're kind of breaking up, but you're not sure, having emotional intelligence and allowing yourself to step away from that relationship so you can focus on yourself and focus on bigger and better things is going to allow you to actually thrive. Because if you're always just like emotionally responding to this person who isn't treating you well, then guess what? Like, you're always going to feel sad. You're always going to feel anxious. You're always going to feel depressed. You're always going to be feeling honestly bad about yourself. So once again, emotional intelligence, it's so key. Allowing yourself to respond how you want to, react how you want to, is the best thing that you can do. Now, this also leads me into number 3, which is learning how to properly communicate. Now, this is once again really crucial when it comes to any form of relationship, whether it's a personal, intimate one, or even like a business career-wise one. If you do not know how to properly communicate what you need, if you do not know how to properly communicate your boundaries, you are always going to get the short end of the stick because you think people just know exactly what you need and want, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I cannot tell you how many times I see people that work a 9-to-5 job overwork themselves because they just can't say no to their boss. Like, they can't properly communicate their needs, wants, and desires. Same thing when it comes to a personal relationship and standpoint. If you are somebody who absolutely loves going on dinner dates, but your boyfriend or, whoever you're seeing always just likes to stay in, but you don't tell him or her that, that's not a them problem, that's a you problem, because you're not properly communicating. In order for you to be successful, in order for you to get what you want, you need to first start off by properly knowing how to say that specific thing to that individual. And this also comes by practice, because I will tell you, I used to not be the best when it came to communicating. I used to not be the best when it came to emotional intelligence. And a lot of the times when I would be in intimate relationships, it would be like, hey, you're not giving me this, I'm mad at you, you're not playing your part. But that wasn't the proper way to communicate, because I was basically just attacking my partner, when in reality, what I really should have done is, hey, it really makes me feel special and I feel a lot more loved when you plan dinner dates for us and when we go out and we dress up, because it just brings a little bit more fun. It makes the night a little bit more unforgettable. And guess what? When I start to communicate my needs in that way, in a way where I know people actually want to serve me, they actually want to give me what I want, it started to work out that way. And this is also when it comes to business, when it comes to money, when you can present yourself as somebody who is high of value. You have the skill, you have the knowledge, you have something that a lot of people need the solution for. You bet people are going to be coming to you, giving you money, because you know how to properly show up and you know how to properly communicate for yourself. Number 4, having a morning and a nighttime routine. When you can prime yourself to step into your most successful, your highest version, the richest, most beautiful, fit, lovable version of you, that is basically just a recipe for success, for wealth, for getting whatever it is that you want. So for me personally, I'm going to share what my morning routine looks like. Every single morning when I wake up, the first thing that I don't do is I do not look at my phone. If you are giving your phone like literally the most attention in the morning, that is not good. The first thing that I personally do is I put in my earphones, or if it is really quiet, I'm by myself, I'll put on a meditation and I'll meditate at least for 10 to 15 minutes. This really allows me to quiet my mind, and I like to do a meditation visualization where I like to visualize how I want my day to go, where I am checking off everything from my to-do list, where I am making money, I'm having the best experiences, the best opportunities just randomly come to me. Money is flowing my way. I like to meditate and visualize on that because you guys already know I say this all the time. Your mind, your subconscious brain cannot tell the difference between something that's real and vividly imagined. So if you can prime your mind to see that before you actually go do it, it's much more likely your day is going to play out that way. And then after I meditate and visualize, I journal. And I love to journal because if there is something on my mind, if there is a block, or even if I have a really big goal and desire, me writing it out will give me answers, right? And also when I journal, I like to write out the top 3 main intentions and goals that I want to do that specific day. I like to think of journaling kind of like talking to a therapist almost, because anytime you feel either like a blockage or you feel like there is resistance, or for some reason you just can't get to like that next level in your life, in your business, in your relationship, what it is that you're working on, you need to talk it out and you need to figure out like what is the root cause. So sometimes I will journal for also additional like 10-15 minutes to really just put all of my thoughts onto paper. And a lot of the times, once again, it does not have to be pretty. I will just write really fast, and guess what? I will come up with answers, and I will come up with steps and directions of where I actually want to go. And then last but not least, I love movement. I love to work out in the morning right after I meditate, journal, whether that's going on a walk, doing weightlifting, running. This can be Pilates, dance, anything. I love to move my body. Movement equals energy. And when you have higher energy, you are more successful, you make more money, you have better experiences. When you are not moving your body, like your body is like this, like you are not attracting anything, you're not going anywhere. But when you're moving, think of it as like flowing, like water flowing, right? If it's just sitting still in a cup, it's not going anywhere. But if it's streaming down a river, if it's flowing back and forth in the ocean, it's creating movement. I love to think about it the same way as yourself. So if you feel down, depressed, you feel stuck, frustrated, irritated, move your body, okay? Do it every single morning. And then my nighttime routine, it looks kind of similar, but I love to list my gratitudes right before I go to bed. I like to pray and list my gratitudes and be so grateful for my day, even though if I didn't have the best day, I will still be grateful for it. I'll be grateful for my body, for my health, everything that I got done, the roof on top of my head, you know, the warm bed that I am in. When you can bring gratitude to what you currently have, it will allow you to get what you want and honestly become a lot more successful a lot more faster. Along with a gratitude, I also like to like stretch / doing kind of like meditating / breath work. So I like to slow down. I like to get myself into the state of like, hey, we're getting ready to go to sleep. So it's once again, it's sometimes I'll listen to just high frequency music. Sometimes I will listen to just a meditation while I'm stretching just in bed, moving my hips, moving my body. And then right after I go to bed, I will actually think about my goals and desires, and I will fall asleep basically fantasizing about that. When I think about my goals and desires, it excites me. And when I go to sleep, I want to have dreams and I want to prime my subconscious brain to tell her that, hey, this is already yours. It's normal for you to get this, and this. It's normal for you to make this much money. It's normal for you to experience these type of things in your relationship. And once again, when I wake up in the morning, I just naturally feel good. So that is my morning and my nighttime routine. And I highly recommend either copying exactly what I do or creating a similar version for yourself. Number 5 is working on my money mindset. In order for you to be successful in your 20s, you need to be making your own money. Even if you work a corporate 9-to-5 job, I always, like I'm so like dead on when it comes to this. Everybody needs their own stream of income, right? So when it comes to having your own stream of income, you need to first work on your money mindset. You need to understand and realize money is energy, okay? Money is energy. When you see yourself of value, money flows to you. And for me, for the longest time, I thought money was really hard to come by. I thought it was really hard to get. I thought you really had to work like months and years and years and years in order for you to even make six figures, in order for you to save thousands and thousands of dollars in your bank account. But when I realized, once again, like, money is literally everywhere. It's all around us. And if I can see myself as somebody who is worthy of receiving it, I will get more experiences and I will get more opportunities. Now, another thing when it comes to money mindset is basically your language, right? If you want to be somebody where you can buy whatever it is that you want, you need to stop telling yourself, this is expensive. I do not have the money to afford it. There's no way I'm going to be able to buy that car. That is not a language that we want to use. We want to look at certain things and be like, I can have that. I have more than enough money to buy that. I'm actually getting that soon, even if that's not true in the moment, because that is, once again, gonna prime and train your brain to look and see that, hey, that Lamborghini, that house, that Rolex watch, even that new laptop, that phone, that, Starbucks coffee that you drink every single morning, like, I have more than enough money to buy that specific thing. A big portion when it comes to money mindset and really working and expanding on your money mindset is your language and your talk track, right? So if you have any scarcity, any lack when it comes to money in general, I always love to write it down and then reframe that, right? So every single lack thing that you have about money, every single belief, thought, even action and habits that you have around money. If you're somebody who actually has thousands of dollars saved, but you don't spend a single dime on yourself, that is probably why money is not flowing to you, because just like water, money likes to flow. It likes to go in and out. It is energy. But if you're just holding onto it with dear life and it's not going anywhere, don't wonder why you're not making more money. So I love to work on my money mindset even till this day. After making thousands of dollars in my 20s, I will still work on my money mindset, because now for me, it's like the seven figures, multi-seven figures, and getting to that place where money, I want it because I want to create impact with it. So if you can also attach meaning and purpose behind why you want that money, it's going to be easier for you to actually attract it. Number 6, attending events and networking with people that are much more successful than I am. We have probably all heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That is true. And the reason why is because you're going to pick up on their habits, their beliefs, their thoughts, their actions, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they speak, the way they dress, the way they communicate, the way they interact. You're going to pick up on everything, and you're going to honestly start to become that person too, but your own version, right? If you are constantly hanging around people that, once again, never have enough money, they're always complaining, there's always something wrong, they have a negative outlook on life, you're also going to be doing that. You're also going to be looking at your life from that lens. And I know for me, I spent thousands of dollars of honestly the money I did not have in university to fly to attend networking events, meet multi-millionaires, actors, celebrities, because I understood the power of proximity and the power of being in the room. And when I said I literally did not have the money, I would borrow money from my friends, buy airplane tickets, and try to stay at hotels with people that I knew were going to different events. Some of my good girlfriends, they'd be like, yeah, of course you can stay with me, so I didn't have to pay full price for a hotel. I was that girl who absolutely did that, because once again, I knew if I was in the room, it would get me closer to being a much more successful version of myself. And you can also do this online. You don't have to go to events and networking events. This is where getting into paid communities, mentorships, courses, getting into programs and different places online where you can just submerge yourself into people and learn from individuals that are much more successful than you are. Because even till this day, I do it every single day, right? When I'm working out, I'll listen to a podcast show. When I'm going on a walk, I'll listen to an audiobook. It's the same thing as step number 1, but this way you're not reading, you're just talking to people or you're just learning from them. And you guys are already doing this, especially if you're watching this video, which I love, right? YouTube is one of the best places where you can learn from people. But yeah, getting around people that basically have what it is that you want will allow you to get what you want a lot quicker and faster. And last, but certainly not least, I want to say this is one of the most important things that will allow you to thrive, to be rich, successful, hot, beautiful, get whatever it is that you want in your 20s. It's taking action and less thinking. When you have an idea to do something, you want to take that action immediately so there is no gap in between to overthink. I want to say this is probably one of the main reasons how I've been able to honestly achieve so much success in a short period of time in my 20s is because I basically closed the gap between my idea and action. There is literally no space for me to overthink, for doubt to come in, for me to start thinking about whether it's going to work, whether it's not, for me to start to get anxious about it, for me to overthink my steps and strategy. Every single time I have an idea and I have that excitement, that urge to just go do something, I will do it in the moment. And that's also where it's like people talk about aligned action. I've talked about it in some of my old videos. When you're trying to manifest money, success, wealth, this is it, right? It's like when you have that urge to go do something, don't wait to take the action, go do it now. It's like, imagine if you, for example, I always love to use the example of if you want to write a book or you want to create a digital product, you want to create a course, you want to create something and you have the idea to do it. Most people, they'll be like, ooh, that's such a great idea. And then they won't do anything. They'll be like, okay, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Like, how's it going to work out? Or like, am I qualified to do it? What am I going to put in the book? And then they basically talk themselves out of doing it where they don't even get to the step of even taking the action. Or by the time they start to take the action, they don't have the same energy from the beginning. So the input of them taking the action doesn't even play out well enough because they don't have the same mindset as they did before. Now it's a mindset of, oh, I hope it works. I wonder if it's going to work versus, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's definitely going to work. And I remember my book is back here. When I wrote my book, when I was 20 years old, I wrote, published, hit bestseller on Amazon in 30 days. And this is how I did it, guys. I could have had the idea of, oh, I want to be an author. I want to write a book. And then I could have spent 6 months, a year doing it because I would have procrastinated, I would have waited, I would have wondered, am I qualified to be an author? Should I be doing this? Versus the minute I had the idea, I outlined the chapters, I outlined the stories, I wrote down what I wanted to put in the book, and then I just started to type. I started to write. I did not overthink it. And when you can get into this state of taking fast action without overthinking and getting into the state of, is it going to work? Is it going to not? That is how you're actually going to attract so much success and get so much more done in a short period of time. And I believe every single person in their 20s can become very, very, very successful in a short period of time, especially if you follow these 7 habits. So that's all for this video. I love you guys so, so much. Comment below. Let me know which habit that you're going to be implementing ASAP. And if you want to learn how to become a full-time business owner, make your own money, make sure to watch this video. I will see you guys in the next one. And until then, make sure that you stay unforgettable.